for the band, we came out of this town and then we're exorbitantly rewarded. And I don't think it was an unnatural decision for us to think we should support those things about it that supported us.
To be from Charlottesville and for this to be my hometown, it's just huge to have a band that's like this big. It's a really good moment for Charlottesville. I'm really happy to be a part of the celebration of their 25th year.
The students are very excited about filming the band. This is an amazing opportunity for them to go to the concert and to be around the Dave Matthews Band.
We're picked to actually film them, meet them, and interview them. It's crazy. I'm about to meet Dave Matthews Band.
Photo passing?
Yeah, photo passing.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, Dave and the guys, they do a whole lot for Charlottesville. They do more than people think.
I think any time that we come back and play a hometown show, it's special for this town and for us as well.
I don't know if I believe in sort of fate, you know, the stars aligned, all that stuff. But for me, it does feel like my band and what happened to us had to start in this
Thank you very much. It's nice to be home. I know some of you all traveled quite a distance to be here, and I know some of y'all probably could have walked. And thank you for those of you who traveled. Thanks most of all to this town for letting us do what we did. Thank you so much.
So the first time that I came to Charlottesville, I drove down 29. And it was these rolly hills from DC like this. And my mother had moved down here, and I was so afraid. When I was coming in, I was like, oh no, where are we gonna live? I didn't know anyone. I was an absolute stranger to this town. But then, I think the first musician that I heard play in Charlottesville was Tim Reynolds. But it was I was like, what is that guy doing? He was playing outside of the UVA. I used to go to my sister's jazz class there, and that's the first time I heard Leroy. And then I found out that he played every Monday at Miller's, and that started a long relationship with the musicians in Charlottesville. It was like pretty instantaneous. I wasn't here more than a month before I started working at Miller's. All my favorite musicians were suddenly all around me.
You know, Boyd was playing with a little folk duo, Down Boyd Down. Timmy Reynolds was doing a solo thing. John Durf and his crew were playing jazz. It's kind of that field of dreams thing. If you build it, they will come. If you give musicians a venue to play and they are appreciated, they'll come and play. And nobody ever made any money.
I used to watch Carter at Miller's, and I thought Carter was the greatest thing on earth.
Dave, I used to see him just standing watching me.
Yeah, sometimes I take a walk down out there, guys. Sometimes I take a taxi.
And it used to weird me out sometimes. This kid with this long hair, you know, and I was like, who is this guy?
Still thinking. But I mean, seriously, I thought you were the greatest thing on earth. And Tim, I also thought you were the greatest thing on earth. And in this town, I was like, what's happening in this little town? I wasn't telling anybody that I sang. Then next thing you know, I sat in with Tim.
I heard him play Satellite, like, that's totally original.
And I saw him sing, and I thought, Dave, you should have a band.
far as I know. Till I get to the end of this tunnel. Oh, Jimmy, feel good, keep me floating. Just far as I know. Till we get back to you. Well, sometimes a Jimmy bass like my way, you keep me swinging. I don't care, I still don't care. But I really guess I'm feeling.
So that was nice. 25 years later to be able to say that that was my comment when I heard his music. Then Stefan was my student.
My teacher, John Durth, was sitting in one night with John and his band. Afterwards, Dave come up to me and asked if maybe I'd be interested in, playing some music. And when you're 16, you say yes to everything.
And so Stefan, me and Carter and Roy were rehearsing in my mom's basement when Roy said, we should get a violin on this song. We were playing Tripping Billies. He named a couple people. He said, oh, that guy Boyd Tinsley. You remember Boyd? And so we asked Boyd after that to, play on that tune, to sit in. And then he sat all the way.
You've been playing for a while. You know what I mean? But when somebody says 25 years, that's like a quarter of a century. Like the word about us got out through cassette tapes. A lot of kids today don't know what that is. They should Google it. But
they say time flies. This 25 years feel like 50.
Yeah.
No, not really.
John Durth.
I just feel like I was so lucky because the people in Charlottesville changed my life because of all their kindness. And John Durth was definitely one of those people. So we started Bama Works just because so many people in this town want to give back to the community here. And some of them are in my band.
The community that we grew up in was really special. It was a really special place, We were just lucky to grow up in that place, and it shaped us,
Leroy, Boyd, and myself, we were given a gold mine by our parents and by parents throughout the community, and we never forgot that. The neighborhood was clean, well-educated. We probably didn't have the most money in the world. Well, not probably, we didn't. We played tackle in the street, because we didn't have a lot of playgrounds back then, so we had to make do with what we had.
But there was definitely a sense of community, so you can go, no matter where you are in the neighborhood, your mother might not see you, but somebody's mother will see you. And if you act up, they're gonna call you over. So it's like everybody was looking out for us.
I know that Boyd Tinsley plays in the band, and Boyd Tinsley grew up over on Roseville Drive in Bonita Court, and we were neighbors.
Some of the guys in the band went to, high school with some of my family members. So the fact that they give back is so powerful. I always quote James Baldwin when he said, for these are all of our children, and we shall profit by or pay for whatever they become.
Then there was a remarkable 8 years between 91 and 99 when the band became a national, international phenomenon. And as the band was rocketing to stardom, they managed their money that came from concerts. All of this came together in a fund, the Bama Works Fund.
Part of every ticket they sell while they're touring gets donated to the Bama Works Fund. That fund has grown over time, and currently the band is giving about $900,000 a year out into our community through many, many nonprofits.
So first we're going to MRC. We're gonna be shooting some B-roll, I think just like outside of MRC. I don't know if Dave Matthews will be out at that time, but let's just prepare as many questions as we can think of.
The list of organizations that the Dave Matthews Band has supported is very long. We teach everything from animation to documentary filmmaking, but we also tell others' stories to convey the good work that they're doing for our community. Some examples include Boys and Girls Club in City of Promise and Music Resource Center.
Music Resource Center. Hey, Bill, it's Ike. You looking for who now? Yeah, hold on a second.
Well, the MRC started 20 years ago. It is a nonprofit after-school program. We do all kinds of music education, and it's just a place for teens to go that are more artistically inclined.
Well, I joined the Music Resource Center when I was 13. The grand opening was a really exciting moment. Back when I was a member, being able to cut the ribbon, all the press, Dave Matthews Band. I remember seeing the Today Show, and they mentioned the Music Resource Center. And it was like, what? I go there, that's my place. And seeing that they were holding that big concert in Central Park for us was awesome. The cool thing about this place is that it's in the middle of all the inner city neighborhoods. And music plays a big part of those neighborhoods. So kids kind of gravitate to this place because of that.
That was the moment that, I realized that we had really, done something. We had really achieved something that was, and Leroy would say this, we had achieved something that was bigger than ourselves. The Music Resource Center is a place where kids can go after school and they can record music of all different kinds and play music of all different kinds. It's a place where, they can really sort of start to grow their craft.
Because, I think this town made this group of people come together. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for this town, so in that same spirit, it almost seems criminal if you don't support at least the possibility of that happening again.
I know, right? How's it going, man? Good to see you.
Very nice.
Welcome back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Welcome back.
You didn't have a beard last time I saw you.
I know, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
I've been seeing lots of pictures of Roy around.
Yeah?
So, last 24 hours.
Well, we'll check out the Performance Hall named after him, which is our biggest and most beautiful facility yet.
The band is such a central part of my family. It's like, if your dad dies or your sister dies, it leaves a hole that it doesn't, the hole never goes away, but it just, you get accustomed to having it there.
Well, now she wishes it was different, and she pray to God most every night. And though she swears it doesn't listen, there's a foolish hope in her it might. Am I supposed to take it on myself to get out of this place? Oh, there's an emptiness inside her, and she do anything to fill it in. And though it's red blood bleeding from her now, felt like cold blue ice in her heart. She feels like kicking out all the windows and setting fire to this life. She would change everything about her, using colors loud and bright, but all the colors mixed together to gray.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Jeff Coffin on the saxophone. And Sean Ross on trumpet.
My affiliation with the band came in about 2003. Leroy said, man, I'm getting lonely up there. It'd be nice to have another horn. And I started sitting in, and one thing led to another, and it was just like, man, you might as well join the band. This is cool.
8 years ago now, in July, I got a call that Leroy had been hurt, and if I was available to sub for him until he recovered. And obviously, tragically, he did not. That's my entrance into the group. But, you know, in this sort of roundabout way, he's become, you know, one of my influential players. That influence has continued through Rashawn to me. And it's interesting because I'm not from here, but witnessing people dealing with these things together, you know, and coming together as a group, as a family, that was very profound, very profound.
He always said to me, if you're honest, and you can hear it in the way he played, he said, you gotta be honest. You gotta mean what you're saying. He didn't tolerate emptiness from people. And I mean, Roy was really all about taking care of the community. And, you know, he'd just be driving down the street and then he'd look at a rusted swing set with no swings hanging on it. And he'd say, that playground, we should fix that playground up so that people want to use it. We should put a pool in there. So he throws off the cuff like that, something, but then we can do it, you know?
A king of men, it makes no sense. So I bow to the priest, but I worship the witch. And it's why I am the only one to make you smile. Why I am a snake in your wood pile. Why I am still here dancing with the groove rush king.
Then a lovely, poignant thing began to happen. We started getting letters from Leroy's fans who wrote and said, this is what Leroy meant to me. And there were hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of those. And a lot of those letters were accompanied by contributions toward, you know, the wonderful things that Leroy cared about during his life, Habitat for Humanity, Toys for Tots. We're standing right here in the Boys and Girls Club in the Leroy Moore Center here. You know, it couldn't be a more beautiful living example of Leroy's legacy. Walk into the Boys and Girls Club, or you walk into Music Resource Center, and there are prototypes of Leroy all over that place. I mean, it's really a very beautiful thing to see.
There's just so much sorrow and so much beauty and so much generosity in the way he played. I mean, I try and remain faithful, maybe even more now, to his better goals, because what a huge part of my life he was.
Don't cry, baby, don't cry.
So when I was young, I remember the Dave Matthews Band from tracks. I was one of the first kids to go to the Music Resource Center when it started, and it was above track, so that had to be like early to mid 90s. But when I went away to college, it was just eye-opening for me about how big they were outside of Charlottesville. So after I graduated from college, I went up to DC. I worked at Ward 8 in Southeast, but, you know, really felt a sense of wanting to give back. So I moved back and I direct the City of Providence, which is in the West Haven neighborhood. So It's kind of cliche, but it takes a village to raise a child, but it's true, you know, and our big thing is getting kids engaged in school and also attending school. So like my staff comes in and it's like, who's not in school? Why are they not in school? And how do we make sure they get to school? What's holding them back from getting there? Basketball, of course, is a magnet. It attracts them to the space. Oftentimes, if the kids hear a basketball, they'll just start marching down like ants, just like, oh man, the basketball court is up. Who want to get crossed up? Let me get that, let me get that, let me get it. Let me get y'all. You don't want this? You got it? No, let him shoot, let the little man shoot for one time. Let me shoot.
One of the things that I noticed was in our neighborhood, the parents, first of all, cared about all of us. They cared about every kid in the community, in that neighborhood. And I think that's one of the things that carried us to where we are today, you know, and it made us realize, hey, we have to try and emulate what those parents did for us. And that's what these people in the neighborhood have done.
So who's heard of molecules? Who's heard of atoms? Good. Let's see, I don't trust atoms. They make up everything. For myself, I think it's important to give back just because I was in these kids' spot. And so I was, somebody looked at me and thought, hey, that kid has potential. And so the fact that somebody took time out of their day to spend some time with me, whether it's playing basketball or getting me involved in the program, all that's important to, make me the person that I am today. And so the fact that I can do the same for some of these kids, it'll change their lives just like, just as it did for me.
Hi, my name is Kimberly and I am 10 years old. I started coming to the Boys and Girls Club on my 6th birthday. I didn't really know any math problems and I always got in trouble. Then one day I met a staff named Mr. Matt. He never gave up on me. I don't get in trouble now. When I was 6, I was like a caterpillar. Now I am a butterfly. The end.
This is what I say to kids in this community. I say that when you become successful, when you leave, we're giving you a round trip ticket. You don't get a one-way ticket out of here with us, all right? And we're not saying you gotta come back here to stay, but we're saying you gotta come back and lift somebody else up and continue to grow this community and keep the love strong.
And I feel like one big proud father right now, because when I see them and they tell me these kids graduated from major universities, I'm like, whoa. I've made a mark in these kids' lives, and that's the main thing right there. There's no pay scale in the world that can compare to that kind of thing.
When I grew up in Johannesburg, my mom, she made a point of raising us to be aware of the injustice that was happening around us. And so when you hear people talking about hatred or talking about stopping them, us and them is idiotic because there's no such thing as that. We don't have to tolerate them. We require them in order to have a society that can grow.
Ay, mi vida, ¿y qué tú quieres comer?
Enchiladas.
¿Enchiladas?
Sí.
¿Te gustan las enchiladas o quieres tostadas?
No, tostadas no.
¿Ah, quieres enchiladas?
Sí.
Gracias a Dios por este programa de Boys Girl Club, porque he mirado muchos cambios en mis niñas, en las dos, Kimberly, en Ariana. La directora Miss Olga es una de las directoras muy buenas que se enfoca mucho a los niños.
As a unit director, I oversee the entire club. We have about 120 kids a day that come here, and most of them live right here in the Southwood mobile home neighborhood. Our kids face a lot of different challenges. One of the challenges that they face is just a language barrier. A lot of their parents only speak Spanish, and so they start school a little bit more behind, and our job is to make sure that we try to catch them up as much as possible.
And the rest of you guys are going to be water. So we're going to absorb you guys. Spinning? Are we listening?
Yeah.
Those kids come from some very rough backgrounds. They come from different countries, and their living situation is, definitely some of the roughest I've ever seen.
Here's something that's interesting to me thinking about this now with Dave, because I know they give a lot into this town, and they give a lot to the Black and Latin communities in this town. And people may or may not know this, but Dave grew up in South Africa and defied the color barrier. That's why his music is the way it is, in part, because of the defying a color barrier, defying consensus reality.
Because in South Africa, my mom raised us sort of to look around at inequalities and do something about it.
I'm not sure what to call this song yet, because we ain't never played it in front of anybody.
Through their recent Seaville show, the band took a decision to give away all the proceeds, which we anticipate will be about $1 million. That money we want to focus on youth, and we honed in on the Southwood community, where there are a large number of youth that we can really give a huge head start in life to.
On your table, the assistants will put a couple drops food coloring in. I was amazed, because I mean, I knew the town loved them and they were involved, but the fact that they're given to basically every aspect of this town, it's amazing. It reminds you that there's a lot of good in this world.
This is a song that, well, it's about Virginia.
Burn your fingers playing with fire, but you never know until you try. Come on, let's go, let's jump right in. We'll rope swing and river swim. Virginia naked in the rain. You make me feel like a kid again. Don't wanna say goodbye to you. Don't ever grow up too fast.
Understanding that we're really all in this together. That's what being neighborly is to me. And really letting people understand that what I want for myself, I want for you. What I want for my children, I would want for your children. That's what I think being neighborly is. And it will manifest itself in our actions. Like my dad always taught me, he would pick up trash in the neighborhood, And I'm like, man, why are you picking up trash in the neighborhood, man? And he always said that regardless of who put the trash down, still our neighborhood. And if nobody makes the sacrifice to pick it up, then we're not being neighborly. So it's like sometimes I have to make a sacrifice to make it a better place for all of us. And when more people have that mentality where I'm willing to make a sacrifice to make this a better place for all of us, then that's really when you have a neighborhood.
But summer always ends too soon. Whatever you want, I'll give you that. But tell me we won't grow too fast. Let's make believe this is gonna last forever. Don't seem long enough.
I'm farmy. a little bit farming. I think small, healthy farms could do a lot to save the planet.
I think it's awesome for them to be where they're at and then step back into our life. He has no idea how much we appreciate that. I'd like to tell him that face to face, but I don't have time.
What would you say?
When you farm, you're at the mercy of the weather, and you lose a lot of stuff. If you've had a bad year, you've lost. It's a big gamble. This year we had a late cold snap, and we've lost all our peaches, 100% lost, our plums, our cherries, and I sat down and cried. Sat on the ground and cried. But we do have strawberries, and that's what we will have to eat off of, maybe eating strawberries the rest of our life, who knows?
Look in the mirror, my friend, I don't understand.
Local Food Hub was started in 2009 in response to this recognition that the system is not really set up for small farmers to be able to access large markets. They can sell CSAs and at farmers markets, but really accessing the places where people eat food most is really difficult for small farmers.
So the idea of getting a lot of small farmers together so they can guarantee maybe his crop failed over here, but her crop did well. So now you can cover each other. You can everyone can look after each other, you know? And I think that's the way that the food system should work in general, but we can do it in a small scale now with organizations like the Food Hub.
Food Hub has been wonderful. Our sales have picked up. We have probably tripled on sales. And the Food Hub reaches more people that we couldn't because obviously we got to stay here and work.
And then often the food will turn around and go out again to our customers within 24 hours of arriving here at the warehouse. So our customers, Fresh Pharmacy, for example, the folks that are going to get food today, many of those products will have just come off the field in the last 24 hours.
The Fresh Pharmacy program, well, I work with Holly Edwards, who is a parish nurse, and her goal from day one for this community is that we make better choices, eat healthier. Because some people don't feel comfortable getting on a scale.
Grew up maybe 4 blocks from here. It feels great to bring something different to the community, you know? It's a big difference from other produce I've seen, locally grown stuff. It looks better, and just giving back is a great thing. It's a great thing to let you know that they haven't forgot where they came from.
We got tomatoes, strawberries, things like scallion and thyme and ginger. Today they have leeks, broccoli, lettuce, like this kind of lettuce. And this is turnips. Turnips, someone showed me how to fry them just like you frying potatoes. Hi, girls. Yeah, that's Miss D and that's Tina. They're my neighbors, and we look out for each other.
It's okay for the low-wealth community to understand local foods and vegetables and to be exposed to different things. Because the whole issue of weight management causes other things like cancer, diabetes, or hypertension. I guess that's another conversation altogether, how food has become inaccessible to a lot of communities in many ways.
So the Fresh Pharmacy is really helping change health outcomes with local organic food. You know, and West Haven is at the forefront because of this collaboration between the clinic and the local food hub.
If you think of the whole community, one square is the West Haven Clinic, another square is the local food hub, Another square is the City of Palmas. Another square is Bama Works. Put all those squares together, you have this quilt. It actually blankets the entire community. And the better that we're able to keep that quilt stitching in line and to work together, it makes that quilt even more beautiful.
There's Carter Beaufort on the drums.
Today we're so excited we're able to do a lot of projects that we've been working on for a long time. The lobby really needed to be renovated. The furniture we've had there since we brought over from Trax, it was really old. So the state farm funding is just a godsend for us, perfect timing for us to be able to update our studio.
We are refinishing the floors. The entire lobby is going to be painted.
One good thing about the Music Resource Center is we have a lot of drumsticks that can help us stir paint.
Carol and I got to go shopping for the new couches, and I can't wait to have it all in place. Today is like Christmas. With all this new software and equipment that we're getting, it's a little more professional, and feeling like they're in a more professional environment is going to make a bigger impact on the kids and the community.
Harley, this is your new song?
Yes.
Cool.
It's really fun to see what kids come up with as far as music. We support all music genres. Kids are recording albums and they're doing their own demos, so there's a lot of collaboration.
Music is the metaphor. You know, there's this saying, leap and the net will appear. Like getting students to improvise for the first time, you have to allow them to leap, and you have to leap with them.
Dave is a really funny guy. We did get a lot of footage of their, what's it called?
Jam session?
Jam session.
Put me to the test on keeping up with the beat, and I did. And so it just shows you what people can really do and how stuff happens, really.
That's great.
And the drummer himself?
It's just all about the music, man.
I think for our students working on a project like this, it's memorable. They will never forget working on this project.
Oh, but this is great. We have to use this.
This is so good.
Play it where you are.
Right there?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Us, the band, being able to give back to the community here is because so many of the people that are in this town, that's what they want to do. I don't come in here like Ike and change these kids' worlds. I don't know how to bring farmers together. I don't know how to teach kids how to grow food or how to make movies. But there's somebody who wants to do that. And it's in this town. It's people who want to get their hands dirty. Those are the amazing people that, whether it's in Charlottesville or other places, you find people that are doing awesome stuff. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to spend their lives doing. We need them, you know. We need each other. We need everybody.
And then visual makes it even more powerful because it defies hatred. They're quite obviously diverse. And I feel honored to be from Charlottesville, where something like this can happen. That means there's something here that the world can learn from. You don't have everything right here in Charlottesville, I'll tell you that. You know, there are a lot of issues, but what Dave and the band have done is they found a way to produce something beautiful to bring people from all different walks of life together.
What I feel connected to is this really generous place, you know. I feel embraced.
Good night. Thank you.